Good afternoon, students. So we are having today day for us today. So we couldn't complete our lectures, right? So we'll start again mostly. The lecture deals with history of forensic science in India. Many of you will please sleepy. Please stay focused. Okay? It's just history. So yeah, as we have told last day, application of forensic science is not new to India. Okay? There was a person known as Chanakya. Chanakya, I told those who were present last day, I have told them to read. Okay, I have told them to read about Chanakya's Arthashastra. So in Arthashastra, it was mentioned. See, uh, Arthashastra specified in great details the modus operandi of criminals and criminal intentions. Arthashastra told how criminals, modus operandi means mode of operation. Okay, so Arthashastra had told how criminals operate, how criminals usually do their crime. It states very clearly and simply the various inferences that has to be drawn from the minutest clues left by the perpetrators. Means, so whenever there is any sign in the crime scene, any sign that is left behind by the culprit, okay, you can use that to find out the crime. Okay, that is what Arthashastra. I'm just going fast because we already covered this last day before yesterday. Okay. So that is what Arthashastra is to tell. There are so many, like almost 10 or 12 there is in Arthashastra. You can just go to Google, type Arthashastra, okay, in forensic science. Just type that, you'll get the first, open the first link, you can read it actually. Okay, there's a good blog. You can read it. Fine. So I think we stopped. Yes. Okay. We stopped at, like I'll tell you again, just brief you again. So chemical examiner's laboratory, the first main laboratory which was formed is the chemical examiner's laboratory. Chemical examiner's laboratory was mainly to focus on all those times that the poisoning was very much there in those times, poisoning cases. So to tackle all those cases, they established the chemical examiner's laboratory that was under the British rule, and they established in the Madras Madras province. Okay, the place which of establishment was Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Okay, so it is still working condition. It is one of the oldest labs in India. It was established in the 19th century. So first chemical examiner's laboratory under the Madras presidency in 1849. Okay, 1849. Afterwards, just like chemical examiner's laboratory, same laboratory was opened in Calcutta, Agra, Bombay and Lahore. Okay. So the first main laboratory that was opened was the chemical examiner's laboratory that still works now. That is in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Okay. It started in 1849 under the British rule of the Madras presidency. They were mainly equipped to handle all these toxicological cases. Okay, toxicological cases, drug analysis, all those things. Chemical examiner's laboratory used to deal with all those things. They also used to give their expertise to the neighboring states. Okay, who all are the neighboring states, they used to take cases from them also. They used to solve their cases. Anthropometric Bureau, yeah, father of anthropometry, Alphonse Bertillon. So I told you already, Alphonse Bertillon mixed anthropology and morphology together, and he formed his own system of anthropometry. So anthropometry was considered very individualizing factor to individualize people. So they used anthropometry. Like for 20 years, anthropometry was in its peak. For 20 years almost. After that, fingerprints came. Okay. So in that time, Anthropometric Bureau was also started in India. That is in 1879. 1879 is the date. Anthropometric Bureau that was in Calcutta. Okay. Bureau of Anthropometry, sorry, the date is 1892. Okay, Bureau of Anthropometric Measurements, that is the name. Bureau of Anthropometric Measurements was started in 1892 in Calcutta. This system was widespread till 1900. It was widespread till 1900. You know what happened after 1900? The fingerprints came and people started using fingerprints for individualization. Because anthropometry was a big task. Okay, fingerprint was very easy. Yes, now we are going to the history of fingerprints. I think this is where we lost the connection that day. So there was a person called William Herschel under the British. He used to work under the British. There was a person called William Herschel. So Herschel told that you can individualize people using these fingerprints, and he used to make fingerprint data of people. Okay, he used to make fingerprint data of people. He applied the knowledge and skill to devise a system of registration of thumb impressions of native contractors. So, to register, just like registering attendance now, he also devised this method to register the thumb impressions of his contractors. Okay. So, fingerprint as a science came after this person. He was Edward Richard Henry. He was the Inspector General of Bengal Police. Okay, under British rule only. Under British rule only. So, Edward Richard Henry. Edward Richard Henry. He was the General of Bengal Police, Inspector General of Bengal Police. So he made thumb impressions compulsory in the record slips along with anthropometric data to avoid the mistaken identification. So what Henry did was he made that thumb impressions was also used with the anthropometric measurements. So was I muted from the first? Okay, there are so many technical errors. So what I muted from the first, ma'am? Was I muted from the first? Now it's okay. So I guess I was muted, my mic was muted, I guess. There was some technical errors here. So I'll just go through it fast, whatever I told. So Fingerprint Bureau, first Fingerprint Bureau in 1897, that was established by Sir Richard Henry, that is in 1897, Calcutta. Okay. If I was not audible, there was some problem with the mic. If I was audible, please send a text on WhatsApp or something, okay? Because I didn't know that was audible or connected. If I was not audible, please let me know in the next lecture, okay? I'll explain to you what all I explained. So now we will go directly with serologist of the Government of India. So, serologist to Government of India. Serology department was recognized in 1910, okay? So serology, you know, biology, serology. So a department of serology was established in 1910. That is also in Calcutta. I told you, British rule, British East India Company was in Calcutta. Okay, so almost all departments, mainly all the departments used to start in Calcutta only. Okay, so serology department also started in Calcutta. That was in 1910. The head of this institute was elected as imperial serologist to the Government of India. Okay. So this head of this institute, okay, serology department or serology to Government of India, head was known as imperial serologist to the Government of India. Fine. And after that was before independence. So after independence, they changed the post name. So he was known as Office of the Serologist and Chemical Examiner to the Government of India. So before independence, the head was known as Imperial Serologist to Government of India, and after independence it was known as Office of the Serologist and Chemical Examiner to the Government of India. Yes, now we have something called Footprint Division of Criminal Investigation. So we have a Footprint Division. So in 1915, Footprint Division or Footprint Units was recognized under the CID, that was in Government of Bengal. Mainly CID in that time consisted of Bengal Police, okay, mainly CID. Now CID is a different department, but in that time it was also usually consisted of Bengal Police, that was established by British, okay. So this department also was under the CID. The date was 1915, Footprint Division under the CID in Government of Bengal, okay. So identification of criminals based on footprints. Footprints is also an identifying science, okay. We will have footprints practical when you come next year, I guess. Next year we'll be having footprints practicals. Then you will get to know how to individualize a person using footprints and all, okay. For now, just history. Next is note forgery section in CID. So CID also had one footprint division. Now they have a note forgery division because all the notes, they were trying to replicate the notes, okay, currency notes. So they started another department, that was in 1917. So note forgery section was started in 1970 and Footprint Division was started in 1915. Both were under CID, Government of Bengal, okay. Yes, ballistics laboratory. So that was also minor laboratory, okay. It's a minor ballistic laboratory that started in 1930, okay. 1930. That was also under the Calcutta Police to deal with the examination of firearms. So all of this was mainly under the Calcutta Police, okay. or the CID department. All those things were in Bengal, mainly based in Calcutta. So in 1930, a minor ballistic department was formed. Then State Forensic Laboratory. Now we are almost over with the history. Now we will come to the State Forensic Science Laboratory. Okay. Yeah, the first State Forensic Laboratory was in Calcutta, 1952. Okay. So the first State Forensic Science Research Laboratory in India was recognized in the year 1952 at Calcutta by merging government examiners of chemical documents. So what? So there was a chemical examiners laboratory, I told you, in Calcutta. So they merged them together and formed what? The first State Forensic Science Laboratory. So that was also in Calcutta. So Calcutta is common for almost all the departments. Okay. So that was in the year 1952. Yes. Now we have Central Fingerprint Bureau that we already told about. Central Fingerprint Bureau in Shimla. So they started a Central Fingerprint Bureau that was on the recommendation of Royal Police Commission of 1902 to 1903, the first Central Fingerprint Bureau. Central Fingerprint Bureau. The first we learned was that was in the just for the state, okay, Calcutta under Richard Henry. Sorry. So this was a Central Fingerprint Bureau. First Central whole India Central Fingerprint Bureau started in 1905. That was in Shimla. Okay. First GQD was also in Shimla, and the first Central Fingerprint Bureau was also in Shimla. Central Forensic Science Laboratory, the first Central Forensic Science Laboratory, CFSLs. Okay, the first Central Forensic Science Laboratory was established in Calcutta during 1957. 1957, Calcutta. Almost, I told you, almost all the places is Calcutta. So, first Central Forensic Science Laboratory was in Calcutta. That is in 1957. First State Laboratory also was in Calcutta. Central and State Laboratory also was in Calcutta. State Laboratory was in 1952 and the Central Laboratory was in 1957. So the laboratory CFSL, Central Forensic Laboratory means CFSL, State Forensic Science Laboratory means SFSL. Okay, we will be using abbreviation from now. So CFSL Calcutta had mainly 4 divisions. So first division was Forensic Physics, Forensic Chemistry, Forensic Biology and Forensic Ballistics. In that time, this was enough and more. Okay, they had Forensic Physics, Forensic Chemistry, Forensic Biology and Forensic Ballistics. Okay, now we have something called CDTS. CDTS means Central Detective Training School. You can also apply for CDTS after your graduation. CDTS conducts exam, so it trains detectives. Okay, like your Sherlock Holmes and all. It trains detectives. CDTS. CDTS is in Calcutta and in Hyderabad and Chandigarh. Okay. So the first Central Detective School or Training School was started in Hyderabad. That was in the year 1964. It's still there in Hyderabad. CDTS conducts exams. You will have to write their exams. You will have to go to the physical test. You have to pass all this, and we can go to this training of detective training. Okay. So first detective training school was started in Hyderabad. The year was 1964. The chief objective was to train the effective police personnel into up-to-date scientific techniques of crime investigation with an opinion to expand their professional standard and efficiency. That means its main objective was to train the personnel to widen their scientific mind. Okay, they will use science in crime. Okay, science in criminal investigation. That is the main main objective of CDTS. Yes. Directorate of Forensic Science or DFSS. Okay, now all the Central Forensic Science Laboratories. Okay, I will tell you how many are there. All those things comes under the Directorate of Forensic Science or DFSS. You can directly go to DFSS website. Okay, you can have the list of Central Forensic Science Laboratory. You can have the list of State Forensic Science Laboratory. You can know their mission, vision, everything. So try going to DFSS website. So DFSS started in 2002. That was by Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs, DFSS comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. It started in 2002. So what was there before 2002? Before 2002, all these labs were under BPR&D. BPR&D means Bureau of Police Research and Training. That was also in Delhi. Bureau of Police Research and Training, that is known as BPR&D. So before 2002, all these labs were under BPR&D, and after 2002, DFSS started, Directorate of Forensic Science Services. So all the Central Forensic Science Laboratory came under DFSS. State Forensic Science Laboratory don't come under DFSS because it's mainly managed by the state government. Okay. Yeah, it is headed by the Directorate comes Chief Forensic Scientist. That is fine. So Central Forensic Science Laboratories. So there are 7 Central Forensic Science Laboratories in India. Okay. 6 of them are under DFSS and only one is not under DFSS, that is under CBI. Okay. So it has 6 Central Forensic Science Laboratories and the 6 are at, one is Chandigarh, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Pune, Guwahati and Bhopal. Okay. So where are the 6 Central Forensic Science Laboratories? First is Hyderabad, Kolkata, Chandigarh, then we have in Pune, Guwahati and Bhopal. Okay, these are the 6 Central Forensic Science Laboratories under DFSS, Directorate of Forensic Science Services. We have total of 7 Central Forensic Science Laboratories, 6 are under DFSS and one is in Delhi, that is under Central Bureau of Investigation or CBI. Okay. Yes. So all the states also started their own labs. Okay, if you take Andhra Pradesh, we have their lab, they have their labs. If you take Telangana, they have their TFSL Hyderabad. Then if you take Mumbai, they have Mumbai lab. Okay, if you take Delhi, Delhi also has its own state forensic science laboratory. So all the states started their own laboratories. So Central Forensic Laboratory also, like there are less cases in Central Forensic Laboratory, right? All the main cases used to go there. So they also started to help other universities and all those things. Okay, they also aided in research. So students go there for research also. In Central Forensic Science Laboratory, you can go for researches also. So they provided their technical and financial assistance to forensic institutions in states and union territories. Okay. Yes, this is how it is. So there is a Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the topmost. Then we have Directorate of Forensic Science Services. Then under DFSS we have CFSL Hyderabad, CFSL Chandigarh, CFSL Kolkata, CFSL Guwahati, CFSL Bhopal and CFSL Pune. The departments under we will be having, like for different CFSL we will be having a head or director. Then we'll have scientific divisions and administrative divisions. Scientific divisions will be having, I told you about the divisions, right? Ballistics, biology, toxicology, electronics, explosives, all the divisions will be there. Administrative division will have account sections, established sections, purchase sections, case intake sections, like where the case is taken. You don't directly go in a FSL, you don't directly go to a like different branches are there, right? You don't directly go to the branch and give the case. There is a case intake section. So they will intake your case, they will give you the bill and everything, okay? And they will forward your case to the specific lab, okay? So that all comes under administration. Or the purchases, for example, some chemicals are over. So all those purchases are dealt with administrative section. Yes, so presently CFSL or Central Forensic Science Laboratory, presently there are 7 Central Forensics Laboratory in India, that is Hyderabad, Kolkata, Chandigarh, New Delhi, Guwahati, Bhopal and Pune. 6 of them are under DFSS and the one which is not under DFSS is New Delhi, that is under CBI or Central Bureau of Investigation. Yes, state forensic science laboratories. So I told you all the states also started having their own laboratories. So there are state forensic science laboratories. There are presently 32 state forensic science laboratories or FSLs, SFSs. State forensic, presently there are 32. Okay, you can go to DFSS, their website, go to DFSS and search for state forensic science laboratories also. You will get the list of everything, get the address and the director's email ID, everything you will get. Okay, they are mainly managed by the state government. For example, we have Mangalgiri in Andhra Pradesh, we have one. Red Hills in Hyderabad, we have a forensic laboratory. We have in Villiambalam, Trivandrum, we have a forensic laboratory. Another one is in Mylapore, that is in Chennai. We have another one. Like that, every state will have their own laboratories. Yes. So this is just the state forensic laboratories, just the how the wings are. So they'll be headed by a director. Okay, just the organizational structure of the state forensic laboratory. There also we will be having like additional directors, deputy directors, joint directors. Then we have scientific assistants, that can be senior scientific assistants or junior scientific assistants. We also have another session that is for all the staff intake, administration, all those things. So we'll just brief it now. Yeah, so state forensic laboratory, each state will be having one, and they'll be having the technical wing and administrative wing. Okay, technical wing and administrative wing. In technical wing, we'll have additional directors will be there, deputy directors will be there, joint directors will be there. For example, if you are going to TFSL in Hyderabad, so Telangana State Forensic Laboratory, there will be one department for question documents. For example, question documents. So they will have their own. The department will have their own joint director. Okay, the director will be there. Under the director, there will be senior scientific assistants. Okay, senior scientific assistant directors will be there. Senior scientific assistants will be there. Under them, there will be scientific assistants or junior scientific assistants. Okay, mainly first post that we go after MSc, that will be junior forensic science, junior scientific assistants. Then we get promoted to the senior posts. So in sessions of the administrative wing, what we have all the storekeeper, librarian, museum, then driver, all those attendant, peons, all those posts are under the section wing, administrative wing. So since my audio was not like audible, might was some problem, I'll just explain from the first, like just brief about from the first. So we learned about history of forensic science in India. We have already finished history of forensic science in the world. Okay. Now today we'll finish the. We have already finished the history of forensic science in India also now. So as I told you, India was not new to forensic science. We had a person known as Chanakya. He had written something known as Arthashastra by Chanakya or Kaudalya. So in Arthashastra, Chanakya had mentioned that we can actually get a possible idea of what was the crime done by seeing the body or seeing the evidences on the body. Okay, Chanakya had told that, and you can go to a website and check. Okay, you can go to Google and type Chanakya or Arthashastra in forensic science. You'll have a first blog you can go and you can read how Chanakya had mentioned all this. So that is almost like 2300 years ago. 2300 years ago. Okay, and fingerprints also. India already knew the significance of fingerprints. Like our old forefathers, without giving the signature, they used to give the thumb impressions. Okay, that means they knew that thumb was used as an individualistic factor. So fingerprint science is also not new to India. Yes, now starting with the laboratories. First laboratory in India was the Chemical Examiners Laboratory. The date was 1894. The location was Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Okay, and it was under the Madras Presidency of the British rule or the British Empire. So that used to deal with all the chemical, like poisoning cases, explosive cases, all those chemical cases. They used to do drug analysis. They also used to do biological analysis, because at that time everything was on the chemical laboratory. Okay, we didn't have any other wings. So this laboratory is still in working condition. Okay, still you can try for internships and all there. Then the next comes Anthropometric Bureau. As we are told, Alphonse Bertillon, he was the father of anthropometry. Okay, so what did he do? He mixed anthropology and morphology together and formed a science that is known as anthropometry. So India also took this and started a department known as Bureau of Anthropometric Measurements. Okay, that was in the year 1892. That was in Calcutta. 1892 in Calcutta. As I told you, anthropometry didn't stay for long because it was a hectic measurements. We used to measure every part of the body, right? So that it used to take time. Okay, so it was replaced by fingerprints. So anthropometry was just for like 20 years. After that, it was gone. Yes, now coming to fingerprints. The first person was William Herschel. William Herschel, he was working under the British Empire. So he told that fingerprints can be used as individualizing factor, and he used to take fingerprints of his contractors. Okay, just like an attendance sheet, he used to keep a log of all the contractors and their thumb impressions. And the major breakthrough in fingerprints in India came after Edward Richard Henry. Okay, he was the Inspector General of Bengal Police. What he did? He made the thumb impressions compulsory. He made the thumb impressions compulsory along with the anthropometric data. Okay, so Henry wanted to become like he wanted a classification method of fingerprints. So he appointed two people. Okay, he appointed Rai Bahadur Hemchandra Bose and Khan Bahadur Quasi Azizul Haq. You can just tell that he appointed Hemchandra Bose and Azizul Haq. Those are two Indians appointed under Henry to classify fingerprints. Okay, so this Hemchandra Bose and Azizul Haq, they were like bright personalities. They classified the entire fingerprints. Okay, they gave a classification system. And what happened? Henry was their senior, and just like all the other British things, Henry took all the credits. Okay, Henry thus became thus he named that classification as Henry's classification. Okay, that classification was widely used in the entire world. Till now we use Henry classification. So Henry was knighted. He became Sir Henry. Okay. As with Hemchandra Bose and Azizul Haq, they didn't get anything. Okay. Their inventions was looted just like the British looted India. Their invention was also looted by Henry. So after that, in 1897, first fingerprint bureau was started in Calcutta. That was by Edward Henry, Sir Edward Henry. Thus, India became the first country. Okay, India became the first country to start personal identification solely based on fingerprints. So, India was the first country in the entire world to start identification using fingerprints. So, this is Hemchandra Bose, Azizul Haq. So, the Azizul Haq and Hemchandra Bose, two personalities who devised the method of Henry classification. GQD, coming to the Government Examiner of Question Documents, where was it established? It was established in Shimla. Established in Shimla under CID in 1906. 1906, Shimla under CID. Still now it's working. So after that, there were labs opened in Calcutta and Hyderabad also. And now they are merging all the labs together. They are merging Shimla with Chandigarh Forensic Science Laboratory. They are making Hyderabad GQD with Hyderabad Hyderabad Central Forensic Laboratory, and they are merging Calcutta GQD with Calcutta Central Forensic Laboratory. Serologist to Government of India. The department started in 1910. Okay, 1910. That is in Calcutta. Serology department started in Calcutta 1910. Yes, 1915. Footprint Division 1915, that was under CID, Crime Investigation Department of, that was a department in the Bengal Police. Okay, so CID started the Footprint Division, that was in 1915. And in 1917 they started CID again. 1917 they started Not Forgery Section. Not Forgery Section again under the CID in 1917. Ballistic Laboratory. Ballistic Laboratory was not a single full-fledged laboratory, it was just a small laboratory that also was started under the CID only, Calcutta Police only. It was started under the Calcutta Police only, that was in 1930. Then State Forensic Science Laboratory, first State Forensic Laboratory in Calcutta, the year was 1952. Then we have Central Fingerprint Bureau. The department by Henry is not like a central department, okay, that is for the Calcutta. So Central Fingerprint Bureau started in 1905 in Shimla. We have the Central Fingerprint Bureau till date is running, that is in 1905 Shimla. 1906 GQD has started in Shimla. Okay. So fingerprint department also started in Shimla, that is in 1905. Now we have Central Forensic Laboratory. We will tell about Central. First laboratory was also in Calcutta, that was in 1957. So what? First State Forensic Science and first Central Forensic Science Laboratory was in Calcutta. So CFS's date is 1957. CDTS, Central Detective Training School. I think after BSc someone will be going for Central Detective Training. So it started in 1964 in Hyderabad. Then we have DFSs, Directorate of Forensic Science Services. All the Central Forensic Science Laboratories are under DFS. DFS started in 2002 under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And before 2002, BPR&D, Bureau of Police Research and Training, Bureau of Police Research and Development used to head these all labs, okay, Central Forensic Labs. So under DFS, there is total of 7 Central Forensic Science Laboratories in India. 6 of them are under DFS and 1 is under CBI. The one under CBI is in New Delhi and the 6 under DFS is in Chandigarh, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Pune, Guwahati and Bhopal. Okay. This is the organization structure. We have the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Apex organization, Ministry of Home Affairs. Then we have DFSs. Under DFSs we have Hyderabad CFSL, Chandigarh CFSL, Kolkata CFSL, Guwahati CFSL, Bhopal CFSL and Pune CFSL. Okay. Under CFSL there will be head or director for CFSL and there will be 2 different divisions. One is scientific division, administrative division. Scientific division means all the departments, chemistry, biology, ballistics, physics, all divisions. Okay. Administrative sections, they like case intake, all the accounts details, all the purchase details, all those things are dealt with the administrative section. CFSL, I told you about CFSL. State Forensic Laboratories, there are presently 32 State Forensic Science Laboratory. Please go to dfss.com. DFS is Central Directorate of Forensic Science. There is a website, DFSS. You can directly go there. You can click on SFSLs or State Forensic Laboratories and they will provide you the entire list and address of State Forensic Laboratories. This is how the administrative section of State Forensic Science Laboratory look like. We have a director, then we will have technical wing, and we will have administrative wing. Technical wing we have assistant directors, joint directors, then we will have scientific officers and assistant scientific officers. And in administrative section, we will be having all those attendants, storekeepers, museum keepers, librarians, peons, gardeners, drivers, all those comes in sessions office. Okay, so we are almost done for this class now. So we have covered history of forensic science in India, history of forensic science in the world, okay, and we have also covered about divisions of forensic science laboratory. Okay, now next day we will be going into standardization, laboratory testing. Okay, so we will be having ISO 17025. We will be having a unit, a portion is there, ISO 17025. We will be dealing with that and we will be dealing with NABL also. Okay, those both we will be dealing next day. So for now we are done with the history. In history, please remember the dates and the places. That's all. Dates, the department and the place. Okay, no need to go into deep history. We will be having all the practicals and all. Then you will know what the different divisions are about. So don't worry about that. So thank you.